Hi everybody and welcome to the wrap party for the Global Klezmer String Project. We have achieved the impossible. We've got 35, actually 36 klezmer fiddlers from around the world to play 158 Nigunim, and we're in the process of recording them all for a new archive. It's the Beregovski book of Tish-Nigunim, which are tunes to be performed at the rabbi's table or the rabbi's court, and they were collected between 1910 and roughly 1945 in Eastern Europe, mainly in what's now the Ukraine. So I'm just going to summarize before we get going with the music and the wonderful musicians, some of the successes of the project very briefly. As I said, we have brought the Nigunim to the people. We've had live shows every day. We've established a new sound archive. We have drawings, original drawings of the participants from a well-known British artist, David Paskett, who's also a member of our community. We've highlighted the community and the individuals and the generations. We've got new players, players from the first wave of the revival, and also different styles. We've seen many different styles within our community. We've also had more than 5,500 viewers on the YouTube channel that we've established for this project, and believe it or not, they've watched more than 550 hours of Nigunim. Now that's dedication. I have had people who have told me that they've spent 2 hours, you know, sort of just sitting there watching clips and watching the back numbers, that sort of thing. So that's quite exciting. We've also been recognised. We've been supported with publicity. The Jewish Chronicle in England, which is now pretty much just online, but there are a few more print versions. We had a massive photo of all the participants on the back page with a little sidebar about the project, and a blog, the New York Music Daily blog also featured the project as one of the most interesting things that was happening in the lockdown musically, which I thought was nice. And finally, we've raised some money. We did hit our target to give all the musicians in the project £100 each. The donation site is still open, and I'd like to invite you, if you can afford it, to put a little more in, and we can give them a bit more, because it's not much for all the work that they've done. I'm going to put the link in just here now to everybody. And the first person I'm going to introduce to you, who has been so central to the project, is Aleksei Rozov, and he's broadcasting from Moscow. His neighbours are a little bit wary, and it is 11 o'clock at night, but he's going to actually play number one. He was allocated number one from the book, and I think he's going to share it with us now. Is that right?
Okay, hi everybody. I should play very quiet because of my neighbors, and I will try to play the same nigun I played in the beginning of the project, but I would like to play it in another way. Schönen Dank zu alle. Schönen Dank. And let me introduce my friend from St. Petersburg, the leader of Dobra Noch group, Mitia Khramtsov. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, Aleksei. Beautiful playing. Yeah, I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia. Now we are in up in the countryside, in the beautiful place, like in the middle of pine tree forest, and great place. Thank you, Ilana, for putting all us together, this beautiful project. That was a fun, and actually I learned lots of things during this project, new tunes and new approaches, and I didn't have a chance to hear all the fiddlers, but I will. Now it's all in YouTube. We can listen it carefully, slowly. And this lockdown time, it's tough. It's tough for all of us, of course, but as well, it's have some positive sides, like, because, like, for example, me, I've got my band Dobra Noch. We're playing all the time, we're touring all the time, and now it's all stopped. We had to put it all on hold, everything. And I have a time to play with my wife and Germina, and she's studying cymbalum now. And it's great to have a cymbal player around, you know, for a fiddler. So we're going to play a tune for you, and it's going to be Yiddish dance from Max Leibovich. Actually, we play it all the time, you know, I'm teaching it in my class, this tune, and we play it with Germina all the time. Let me change camera. Oh, yeah, and we'll play it for you. fiddle and cymbal. Ilana asked us to say something. What could I think about where it can go forward, this project? And I think maybe if we do something else together, maybe we could explore more like fiddle style, like these tunes from Beregovski book, Tish-Nigunim book. It's a great tunes, and I had to learn the tunes I learned and hear more of them. But it's in Gunim, and it's interesting to put them on fiddle. But as well, we've got lots of fiddle tunes, like in their instrumental book, like, which is interesting to hear, like the modern fiddlers could play them, like fiddle repertoire. For me, it's interesting. Okay, and now I think it's time to introduce for you the next fiddler. It's Antti Korhola from Helsinki, Finland. And for many of you, maybe it's a surprise, but Finland, particular Helsinki, got a very lively klezmer scene. And Antti is a part of it, and I know it very well because it's my neighbors. It's around 600 kilometers to Finland from St. Petersburg, and I think it's mostly because of Eva Jacobs, who put lots of energy to this klezmer things going on in Finland. She's running a festival, she's running a band. I think Antti playing in this band. And it's a great person, and we're happy to have Finnish klezmer scene, just not very far. So Antti, tervetuloa, give us something.
Hi, thank you, Mitia. You are absolutely correct that Eva Jakob is the heart of the Helsinki klezmer scene, and we have the Helsinki Klezmer Festival. And Dobranoc was playing here in Helsinki. I think it was in January, I guess. You have to come back soon. It was a great gig. And thank you, Ilana, for the project. I'm really delighted that I have been part of this. Thank you, and thanks for each of the great violin players here in this project. It's really an honor for me to be a part of this. And for this last session, I have chosen a lovely little tune from the repertoire of Abe Schwartz, and I'm going to play it now. Thank you. And I'm going to pass it right away on. Next, we have a wonderful musician from Germany, am I right? So we are moving on to Hanover. We have Annette Siebert from Hanover, Deutschland. Bitte schön. No? Yes?
Hello. Nice to hear you and to meet you first time. Thank you. Yes. How wonderful to meet people from far away and to listen and to hear. And I am very touched by this big project of you, Ilana, and to connect this. And I like to meet also this melodies. And I just joined this evening also only to listen. I was today in the music school, and now my violin is sleeping. So I love to play this Tish-Nigunim for yes, for myself also, and it's a sort of comforting and to get really in a stillness. And yes, it was good that Ilana played this this idea to me. I think without her impulse, I wouldn't have played this Nigunim in this time of shutdown. So I will give, to whom do I give now? I don't know. To Alina maybe. Is Alina here?
Alina isn't here, unfortunately. It's going to be Craig Judelman, who is currently living in Germany, although that's not where he's originally from. Craig, are you with us?
Hello, Craig.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Nice to see everybody. What an amazing gathering of fiddlers and humans. Yeah, I'm currently in Germany where I live after a couple months of quarantine or I don't know, holiday in Scotland, where we were with Michael Alpert when our tour got canceled, so we just stayed. So yeah, I think I'll play you some tunes that we were kind of discovering there from the Beregovski instrumental collection. Sorry, I just jumped in a bit late here. I was coming from some things. But yeah, thank you so much, Ilana, for organizing this whole thing. It's been really, really special to get to see everybody play, to get to hear all these amazing tunes. And it's just amazing that you've made it all happen, and thanks to everybody for contributing and making beautiful music and, you know, adding to this rich tradition of klezmer fiddling that we have. Yeah, I think so often us fiddlers, you know, we kind of live in the world of clarinetists and drums and trombones and all these loud instruments, and we sort of try to keep up with their repertoire and their volumes. And I've been having some conversations recently with some folks about like, how do we sort of try to give more energy to the whole fiddle community and build something and create spaces to play together where we can hear ourselves, and especially to sort of try to celebrate and promote like the fiddle repertoire, the old repertoire that existed before, back in the old days when they could hear us. So anyways, I probably shouldn't talk very much, so I'll stop. But I think this has been really great. It's really interesting to see all these tunes and to play them on fiddles. I would love to hear people sing them. I've tried to sing mine a bit, and a lot of us did, I think. But that might be interesting. And yeah, I don't know how much we're talking about next steps, but also I think just using the group that Ilana's created to post more fiddle-friendly tunes and such might be wonderful. So in that spirit, I'm going to play you a few tunes that to me really kind of just sit in the fiddle world, and you know, they could almost be old-time American tunes or some kind of European, you know, they are European tunes, but they're not necessarily all of them super what you think of as klezmer right away, even though they are very much Jewish tunes, or tunes that became Jewish. So yeah, without any further ado, here are numbers. I really like this kind of 150 range of the Beregovski collection, the 2015 edition, with all the major tunes. So you're going to get 159, 152, maybe 157, and some other one if you're keeping score there. And I'll particularly send this out to Michael Alpert, who, if I were still stuck in Crail, would be playing some extremely beautiful guitar stuff. We did do some recording, so I'll have to put some videos out soon of all that. All right, that's enough. I'm gonna, yeah, okay.
Do you want to...
Cool. Yeah, all right, here we go. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed those tunes as much as I did. I hope there wasn't too much of them. So I will take no more time, and it's an extreme honor to get to introduce Mr. Johannes, who I mostly, unfortunately, see organizing stuff and making wonderful things happen at Yiddish Summer Weimar. But he is an incredible fiddler, and I extremely enjoyed his videos for this thing. I think I've only gotten to hear him play live once or twice when it's like late at the session and he's like, come on, fine, let me play a couple of tunes, and he takes the fiddle. But he is such a great person on so many levels, and I'm so glad to get to say, here's Johannes.
Except I think.
Hi, Johannes.
I hope.
And everybody.
Is he here?
He's not here. You were going to introduce.
Oh, excuse me.
That's okay.
Well,
Johannes is wonderful. He's just not here.
Right. Well, even better or worse.
So, Monika, introduce Monika.
Yeah, well, then I can say, here is Monika. Even more exciting, or just as exciting, let's say.
Hi, Monika. Monika, I haven't seen you in so long.
You should probably introduce Sasha as well.
Yeah, hi.
I'm just hanging out here.
She's my niggin consultant.
I'm just a niggin consultant. That's all I do. I consult. So, hi everybody. Do you hear me? Yeah. So, I'm Monika Feil from Erlangen in Germany. And so, Ilana, you asked what was the major musical experience in lockdown. And for me, it was very interesting to be forced to play these 4 tunes because I only had the sheet music. So it was the experience to stay with these tunes, although they not all of them spoke to me in the beginning. So, but at some point they did. So that was a great experience. And the other experience was I love major tunes. I had 2 major tunes, and I really loved them. And I will play you one of my major tunes. It was Niggin 38. I'm here again.
Nice pair of headphones there.
Okay, so I enjoyed the project, to be part of the project a lot, and so to be with my heroes back in the 90s and to meet all the ones I know and a lot of young fiddlers I didn't know, and it's good to see that it's going on in a very good way with the fiddles, with the Klezmer fiddles. So next I want to introduce Samuel Siebert from Leipzig. He's one of them I didn't know before, although he's living in Germany. So he has studied classical and jazz violin in Leipzig and Salzburg. And he plays klezmer also since the 90s, since 93. And he plays with his ensemble Rojinkis. And yeah, please go on, Samuel Siebert.
Thank you, Monika. Thank you for the warm welcome and heartfelt thanks to Ilana as well. I'm very happy to be part of the project, and thank you for your smart and lovely moderations and of putting all of us together in this beautiful project. It was a great chance to look deep into the old repertoire, which was one of the things I got as a new impulse from the Yiddish Summer Festival in the younger years. When I started playing klezmer, I was mostly influenced by Giora Feldman, who was my personal bridge to klezmer. He invited me to join him on stage when I played my first klezmer tunes in 1993 in Dresden, where I was a teenage boy and discovering this music. And so I want to share a melody which shows this kind of moments to look in a new world of sounds, of melodies, and putting it together with the things you brought with you on this stage or on your musical background. As Monika said, I was classical educated on the violin, but I was listening to much more music. But klezmer was completely new for us as a family in the early 90s, and I just took some of the sounds and of the modes and put it together in a composition I called Farewell. And I want to share this with you because it's a sad tune, which is part of the atmosphere of the lockdown period we all are in still, some more, some less. And so it's also a farewell to all the people who left us these days and who are still in a bad condition because they cannot perform or have other problems, even if they are not musicians. We all know so many people are suffering in the moment, and maybe this is a kind of tune which is in this moment as well possible to play. So this is what klezmer is with you when you start getting into it.
I
Thank
think
you.
everybody should feel free to unmute themselves just to applaud at the end of everything, but then mute themselves again really, really quickly.
Yeah. Just one thought about what's happening with us on Corona times. I think there was one experience I had quite in the beginning. We had Good Friday in Leipzig, which is a very important day because in the churches the music of Johann Sebastian Bach is performed every day, and on this day it wasn't possible. The first time I think since 200 years or something. And so they performed a chamber music version of the music, and it was streamed online. And I was attending the streaming performance, and it was unbelievable to read the emotions the people were sharing in the comments. This was such a touching moment that I thought it's great to know more about the emotions the people shared during a concert. It's much more than an applause at the end of the performance. So this was a moment of getting in touch with people from all over the world, which was part of this project, the Fiddle Lockdown project as well. And this is what I really, really appreciated in these days, to get in touch with people I wasn't in touch as deep as now it is, to get new people, to get to talk to people and to look in new melodies and share so many good stuff. So this was what I got, and I hope we will continue to support the fiddle community and have platforms online or live on some festivals or something to share melodies and emotions and people's faces in these following years as well. So this was what I wanted to say, and I have the privilege to announce another semi. He's in Sweden, I think.
And he's not here right now, so we're going to introduce Amit.
Oh, this is even more lovely because I met this beautiful musician in Yiddish Summer Festival and in Berlin. We performed on stage in Moldova and shared a room there even. And I want to show you this amazing man playing wonderful traditional music in a lovely performance. And he is a man who introduces even younger people to the old recordings, which is a really, really good stuff. And let's enjoy the beautiful Amit Weisberger from France.
Thank you for this wow, very flattering introduction. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. Yes, I'm not very much into internet concerts, but this project is an exception, and I participated with a lot of fun and joy and enthusiasm. As you can see, I posted the 10 Nigunims already to my YouTube channel, and I really enjoyed you know, to learn those new tunes together with some old ones I knew from before. Thank you, Ilana. Thank you, everybody, for participating. And so there was a question about the lockdown, what we call the confinement ici en France. I didn't play a lot during this 2 months, really not much. Almost only, I worked only on this project, and otherwise I didn't play a lot. I was not motivated to play alone. Thanks to this project, also I met new people. I mean, I can not say I really met them, but I got to know new violinists and all around the world, and young people like. I was very impressed by. I can mention at least 2 of them. Antti from Helsinki. I really loved your playing and your energy, and the same with Anna from London. I think she lives in London. Yes, so I was very, very happy to get to know and to to hear those young violinists playing so beautifully. Okay, so I don't know. I've seen. I thought everybody was going to play a nigun from the project, but they played some other things. So I had the idea to ask everybody to jam for the 158 because it's the last nigun in the project, and it's a very easy and it's very easy to learn one and happy tune. Are some people into that? I don't know if it can work, playing together on Zoom.
I think it's going to be silent jamming. I think we're going to be here with you in spirit and at the
Oh.
other end of our...
Well, in that case, I will play something else because the whole point was to play together. If I can play, if I'm going to play alone, what can I? I would like to play maybe something from the repertoire that was recorded in Bukovina in the north of Romania. It was gypsy musicians playing Jewish music. It's from an album that Bob Cohen gave me, and the name of the album is Festive Music from the region of Botoshani, and so the style is half Jewish, half gypsy, if I must say. And David Brossier, you know also this. Tu connais aussi cet album, David, je pense. Voilà. Donc, I've put this because I have my neighbors, so I have to play quiet. And tell me if you hear me good enough. I'm not very strong with technique. Okay. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Really, really nice to see everybody from my tiny house in my countryside, to see all those people around the world. I see Sasha and Craig and Samuel and David and Ariane. And yes, this is the moment to present my colleague and my friend that I didn't see for a long time, but we used to play together. And he's also a French, he is a French fiddler. I'm actually not a fake French fiddler. So I want to introduce the next person. He is David Brossier. Is that right? Ilana? Yes? David Brossier He lived
Hello.
also in France, but in the other side of France. I live in northwest, and he lives in southeast. And I learned a lot from him. Especially when we worked together on the Belf project a few years ago, and yes, it was a big fun. He's shy. He don't speaks much, and also I think he's even more shy when he speaks English. But his violin is very generous in communication, and you will see his 5-string special violin, I guess. And I really liked what he did with this project, taking those nigunim and interpreted them in his very expressive style, and also with a lot of Romanian accent, because David is a specialist of Romanian music. He speaks Romanian also better than he speaks English, and he does a lot of also Greek music, and yeah, amazing musician and very good musician. And I'm honored to pass the stage to you, David. C'est à toi, David. Allez.
Merci. Hello, everybody. Yes, I think you understand my English is not good, but I will try to speak a little bit. I will play a Doina. I think Doina is the perfect melody during the lockdown. And I will play Doina from Bukovina. It is a wedding song. You know, in the wedding in Romania, also in Klezmer music, you have a big party. And before the party, you have a ritual part, and it is the opportunity to make the bride cry. And this is this Doina. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you, Ilana, for this project. It was very interesting, and very interesting to hear all these violinists. And I think now it's time to introduce my colleague from Belgium, Ariane Cohen-Adad. Es-tu là, Ariane?
Voilà, je suis là. I'm here. Thank you, David. And thank you for your music. Subtil.
Avec plaisir.
Hello. Cohen-Adad, and I'm French, and I live in Brussels, in Belgium. And I play with David, but I often play with Jefferson Louva, who plays the American mandolin and comes from the bluegrass styles. So Klezmer music meets American music. That's our style. So let's play Tish-Nigunim from number 67 from Beregovski, Jewish traditional instrumental music. And I Thank you. Okay. During the lockdown, I felt a lot of emotions when listening the other artists via live video and via very simple video. Feel that we were connected despite our isolation, and it was much stronger than usual I discovered beautiful musicians and with their authenticity. I would like this simplicity and musical sincerity to continue to nourish our profession. I think it's very important thing when we play music. When we have a lot of concerts, it's our job. We can lost this feeling. And Nigune Day is a beautiful project for this, and thank you, Ilana, for so much for this organization and your good spirit. It's very appreciated. And yes, maybe I could continue with another collections and take advantage of this new community of violinists. Maybe to work the sound of Klezmer violin and ornamentations with this the different styles of playing. It's interesting, I think. And in any case, I will be delighted to play with you as part of another project. I don't know. And now here is Gica Loening from Edinburgh in Scotland.
Gica, are you there? Well, while we get Gica into place, how about Michael Alpert? Meshka, are you?
Oh, all right. I thought I was here. I am here. I'm here.
We see you. Speak.
Yeah. Can you hear me? All right, that's good. Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. So, yeah, I'd just like to say, so my name's Gica. I'm from Edinburgh in Scotland. And, oh, hang on a minute. This has been a really fantastic project. It's kind of given me a real focus through this lockdown. I am still working as well, but it's been the really enjoyable part is doing this. And I think the learning the Beregovski tunes has been amazing. Connecting with everybody has been fantastic. And I weirdly feel so much more part of the klezmer world somehow than I did before. So it's been a really amazing experience. So my tune, I think I'm going to be breaking with the norms. And in fact, I'm taking a massive risk because I'm not really a guitar player, but I'm just going to do a song which I think you'll all recognize, which actually has really resonated for me in the lockdown. And it's one of the most famous songs in the whole world, Auld Lang Syne, from Scotland. What? This is Auld Lang Syne, the words by Robert Burns, our famous Scottish bard. I've got a little glass of whiskey here, so I'm just going to, a wee toast to Robert Burns. And these words are just hugely resonant in this time of lockdown, about coming together, about remembering old friends. It's sung in Scottish, in Scots tongue. I'm not going to sing every verse here, but here we go. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll tack a couple kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. We twa pedalled in the burn frae morning sun till dine, but seas between us Brady roared, sin Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, Auld Lang Syne, we'll tack a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. And here's a hand, my trusty fear, and gaze a hand o' thine. We'll tack a right good welly wacht for Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, Auld Lang Syne, we'll tack a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. So, Ilana, yeah, I just wanted to massively thank Ilana as well for creating this great project. For the thing about it has been, it's brought everybody together as well as created this great archive. I know you were thinking about wanting us to reflect on ideas for the future. I think the very first thing to do with this project is to listen to every single half an hour show. And certainly I've listened to some of them. I've been appreciating hugely hearing all the different styles and everybody's input. But it would be great. I think that's the first thing, is kind of absorbing the project and also listening to all the archive collection that we now have. So I'd say that's stage number one. You know, and then stage number two, maybe we should have another meeting in a while and talk about where we might go from here. And I'd echo, I think it was something that Sam said about, I've forgotten now. I think it's too much whiskey. I can't remember what he said. Sam said something that really resonated with me. But anyway, it was about a fiddle network. And I think that's really great as well. Really appreciate the idea of that. So that's my my little input. I am now going to welcome from the UK. That's a bit unspecific because I don't quite know where everybody lives, although I know that includes Francesca, who lives in Brighton, I think, and Anna, who's playing I Loved as well, and Olga. So I'm going to welcome Anna, Francesca, and Olga, but I'm actually not sure who is first. Is it Anna?
Meshka, actually.
Sorry?
It might be Meshka.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Of course, I forgot my own comrade. Of course, it's Anna and Francesca and Olga are next after us. How embarrassing. Michael, please forgive me. We were just having a good old chat last night as well. I hadn't forgotten about you. Not really. Anyway, so across the water from where I am, not far away, is Michael Alpert, who is going to give us a real treat, whatever it is. Looking forward to hearing that. So thank you so much. And I'd also, just before I go, like to really thank Ariane as well, because I loved her playing and really appreciate, it's just fantastic playing. So onwards and upwards to Michael in Crail in Fife.
Hi everyone, can you hear me now? Do you hear me? Give me a sign, someone. All right, good. Hiya. Thank you, Gica, and everyone. Feis Krama and Alpert. That was wonderful to hear that old time melody to Auld Lang Syne too. Yeah, I was talking with Gica last night, as she said, and we were communing over the fact that one of the things that this wonderful project has done is to, she said it made her see her own place within this remarkable world network that we have. And I think that's been part of it for all. I mean, there are people here gathered just with us tonight who are part of the last 4 decades of my life, the last 40 years. And it's a remarkable thing to be with you all here, because of course I remember a time when none of us born after the Second World War, at least outside of Eastern Europe, were playing this old Jewish film music, and hardly anyone there either. So one of the things I've been immersed in here during the lockdown has been, as in addition to making wonderful old-time Yiddish music and old-time American music with Craig, and Russian music with Craig and Sasha, and I've also been quite immersed in old-time Scottish music, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I want to do something that that calls to mind my beloved and late teacher, mentor, in all things, in Jewish violin and in Jewishness and in life and being a human being, Leon Schwartz, who was also from the Bukovina, as we heard that wonderful tune that David played earlier. And thinking about the lockdown, and not only that, but also what's been going on, particularly over the last week, especially in the country that I and a number of us here come from, the United States, but everything all over the world. Putting together both the pandemic and the kind of outcry, and both a cry of anger and rage, and also attempts to build a new and a better world, maybe the same old world, but maybe hopefully a better version of it that's been going on. I brought to mind something that both a Nigen and it's really a Zmiris for Shabbos that Leon used to sing, and that I do often. It's the Shabbos Zmiris Yori Boinulam, and some of you are maybe familiar with it. This is, the words say that the infinite power that controls, that reigns over all the worlds, is the power that also reigns over all the kings and queens and rulers of this earth. So the takeaways to me are, one, it's going to get you in the end, all of us, and also that that there's enormous beauty and majesty and awe in everything around us as well. So Yori Bain Ulam, in the Nosach of the Vision Chassidim Leon Schwartz on the Bukovina in Karabchiv, Leben Vashkevitz and Leben Strajenitz is Kovazayr and Ondeg. riboin olam ve'olmayo Oyantu malkoi melech malchayo Oyoribo oinula violma Antti malkoi melech malchayo Toradoi roi 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 Toroi roi 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 nai namai roi roi Toroi roi 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 Toroi roi 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 Toroi roi 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 Toroi roi 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 O yori
Oh, thanks, Mish.
Thank you. Actually, I meant to mention before that I appreciate, Ilana, that you, on the email list of everyone performing tonight that you sent, you listed Scotland separate from the UK. And I don't know if that was intentional, but it's at the very least a spirit that's appreciated. So now I have the pleasure of introducing a woman I'm not sure I've ever met in person, but I hope to someday. And that's, I believe is I've heard you're playing though, and it's wonderful. Anna Lowenstein from London. Take it away. And thank you, everyone. Seid gesund.
Thank you. Wow. Such a honor to be introduced by such a mensch and follow several others. Thanks, Ilana, for organizing this. It's been, yeah, a real privilege to be part of this stellar lineup. So I'm coming to you from London. Can you hear me?
I can, but I can't see you. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can find you and put the spotlight on you. Speak some more.
Speaking. 1, 2, 3, speaking. There we go. All right. Now I'm coming to you from Tottenham in London, which Michael just mentioned the world events, and it's been making me think a lot about our situation here in Tottenham, where I'm coming from, was the kind of catalyst of the 2011 London riots. Just to put you in a bit of cheerful context. Anyway, yeah, this project's made me think about a lot of different things, but you asked for a tune that's meant a lot over the lockdown, so I thought I would play a tune that I learnt a few days ago from my esteemed colleague Josh Middleton, where we managed to play a gig a few days ago on my parents' street, and we realised that it was the first gig that we're playing together after lockdown, or during lockdown, and the last gig we'd played to a live audience was also together in the ill-fated run of Indecent with Merlin Shepherd as well. So Apologies sincerely to Craig Judelman, but this is a Brandwein tune. Sorry, it's not a fiddle tune, but I thought it was really beautiful, and it felt really like a gift to be learning a new tune live with a live, real, flesh and blood musician. So I thought I'd play it, and I'll try and fiddle it up for you, Craig. This is, again, apologies for my terrible Yiddish accent, but Yiddish is sold at. In this amount of time, I've managed to have 2 glasses of wine, so slightly wonkier than intended. Great.
Better effect.
So yeah, it's also my great honor to introduce a dear friend and mentor of mine, fabulous cellist Fran Ter-Berg. She's so generous and supportive and warm in her knowledge and her skill, and yeah, I give her over with great love and respect. Take it away, Fran. Do your thing.
Wow, thank you, Anna. That's such a nice thing that you said. It's yeah. Can you guys hear me? I'm very red-faced because I've been outside all day and it was really windy. So, and I'm having a bad hair day. So I'm copying I'm copying Craig and Mitia with the cap here. I think I can get away with it. So this is an amazing project, and it's really nice for string players to have like a moment, I think. And I just noticed that Tish-Nigunim has made his profile picture of him playing the violin, so he kind of feels like he's part of the club, which is nice. And it's especially a privilege to be here as a cellist, as one of 2 cellists, because there's Beth as well. And I suppose there's no reason why cellos shouldn't be part of a wider string project. It's just, you know, in the past, cellists were always the bass end of the, you know, the musical crew. And, you know, I love playing bass lines, and I've been like, you know, into them for years, but it's also nice to get to play the melody sometimes. So I think I'll play probably it's my favorite tune. It's in the Beregovski collection. It's a Dobry Din. It's one of the first Klezmer tunes I ever heard. Yeah, I think I heard it, Black Ops Orchestra did a recording. They're like a sort of post-punk band from Montreal. They're like the Jewish break off of Silver Mount Zion, who are one of my favorite bands, and they recorded this song and it just blew my mind. I also want to say, massive thanks to Ilana. You've totally smashed it. I can't believe this 6 weeks. Have you been doing this for 6 weeks? Something like that. And it's amazing. What a great community. And I don't know. I've been also enjoying watching everyone's videos and learning tunes I didn't know, or ones that I'd heard bits of, but I didn't really know where to get hold of them. So thank you, everybody. Oh, and at the end of this, I might play one of the Nigunim from the project, which was thrust upon me last minute by Ilana. It's just this really cute one. It's just got 2 sections, and it's like number 93 in the collection. I can't even remember what key I normally do this in. I think D. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. All right, now I get to introduce the hostess with the mostess. I suppose technically you're the ballerboster of the evening, aren't you, Ilana? The jugs, the spiritual jugs of whiskey in her hand, which, you know, it's actually a violin, but underneath the violin, I'm sure you've got whiskey down underneath.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Ilana has been, you know, you've been doing the klezmer for some time, and you were definitely one of my first ever teachers when I did Klezfest a while ago now. And I remember sitting down with you and being like, what are ornaments? What the hell are these ornament things? And you explained them to me, and I'm forever grateful. And we've played many a concert together. So without further ado, Madame.
That's a lovely introduction. Well, what can I say? It's been a bit of a roller coaster these last few weeks. Little did I think when I had this idea and just emailed a few people that it would snowball in quite this way, but it's been such a privilege, and I just can't believe that everybody said yes. You know, we did have a couple of apologies today. We've got apologies from Ilana, Daniel, Mark, and Cookie's going to try and make it back. But you know, they've been on the project, and to see the people I've studied with, the people I've taught, and everybody else as well, and all the people who have come along to the shows, it's just been such a privilege and a pleasure. And I was trying to think, well, what tune shall I play? And actually, these Nigunim, I confess I haven't recorded mine yet. My excuse is that the project's just been so overwhelming. But as with everybody, I've kind of sat with these melodies that I've never seen before, and they start going around your head and they start taking over your life sometimes. And this one's just a tiny little one, but it sort of encapsulates a lot of the stuff. I don't know, have a listen. It's number 57 and it's just a tiny, tiny thing.
That's actually Ilana Cravitz. I want to hear what you sound like.
What can I say? I mean, it's with everything that's going on, it's provided a little bit of escapism. I mean, I'm so sorry to see what's happening in the States. All we can do is support our brothers and sisters in our other minority communities and wish them koyach with the struggle and support them in any way that they ask us to. And we'll hope that they'll overcome. Things in the UK aren't great for black people in the black community. There was today just a case of the Manchester police getting away with literally murder of a black guy in custody. They shot a guy, and impunity. So there's that, and also the fact that our politicians have voted, not my MP, but a lot of our politicians have voted for other politicians not to be able to vote. If they're sheltering or so there's a lot going on, and somehow to sublimate some of that, but also hopefully we're incorporating
turn your mic off.
the spirit of what's going on. Thanks for being with me.
Hey!
Thank you.
Hooray! Woo!
So I'm trying to post content in support, and I now hand over to my fellow Londoner, Olga Baron, who is also been very supportive about my trip to Finland, which was a very interesting part of my Jewish and non-Jewish experience. Olga Baron, are you there?
I am. Hello. Can everyone see me? Oh, okay, great. I'm big now. Thank you very much. And Ilana was my first Klezmer teacher, so what an honor to go after you. Oh my goodness. My string has literally just broken. Can someone else go next? That's so weird.
Yes, I'm sure.
It's literally like flipped.
Don't worry, you go ahead. And Abigail, are you in the house? Abigail Reisman.
Yes.
Hooray!
Hi. Can you hear me? All right. Wow. Well, this has been amazing to witness. I feel like this is just well, I know this is unprecedented to see all these fiddlers play one after the other, play this incredible music. And I'm just so happy to be here and to be included. And I'm so thankful, Ilana, that you made this happen. It's huge. And we have it like, it's all on YouTube. And I wish that I had that when I was learning klezmer fiddle. So the next generation of klezmer fiddlers are going to have this, that are learning it. And that's huge. So thank you for that. So Ilana had asked us to play something that has been important to us during the lockdown. And immediately I knew what that would be, because the first week of the lockdown, I was just singing this song the entire week, because singing has always been really helpful for me, been comforting. And then also this week in particular in the United States, as Ilana mentioned, as Michael mentioned, has been a really, really horrible week. And I've been singing this song again. And this week we've seen the recent killings of Black Americans by police. And it's just a reminder of the institutionalized racism in this country. And we have to do better. And so if anybody wanted to donate to organizations that are helping right now, Black Lives Matters is doing a lot of really wonderful work, and there's so many campaigns to donate to right now. So I just wanted to say that while I had a platform, because it's super important. But anyways, so the song that I'm going to play and actually sing as well is a Wieglied, and the lyrics are by Sonia Victor, and the music is by Henrik Kong. Schlof ein, mein Schönenke, du bist noch jetzt der Kleinenke. Du wirst wachsen, prächtig blieben, Herzel soll sich zu dir lieben. Ai, Lulu, Lulu, mach deine schönen Kegel zu. Ei, Lulu, schlaf mein Kind, mach zu deine Kegel, Kichen geschwingen. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a heavy week, so just wanted to share that song. So I have, oh wait, no, I'm not gonna introduce, who am I introducing now?
Me, I think.
Okay.
I'm ready now if you want to go back to me.
Great.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Olga, I don't have the pleasure of knowing you, but I loved seeing your performance, and hopefully we'll meet someday in person.
Thank you. Well, I was supposed to introduce you, but now you have to introduce me. I think I've been rejecting my violin. The strings all went, but they're all good now. This is a piece I've been playing, and there was one moment early on in lockdown where I was looking out of my window where I'm sat now, and there was this beautiful full moon, and I played this to the full moon to some of my friends. And I'm going to have the help of backing track. Thank you. I also just wanted to say a little bit about like when this project was first started. I don't know about other people, but I felt very intimidated to suddenly be, you know, playing on Zoom, doing home concerts, playing with, you know, people that we idolize in the klezmer world. And it's still pretty scary, but I feel like you know, we've built this community and we've all heard each other play, and I think that's probably all helped us feel more comfortable and helped us build some confidence. And it's good to have new challenges as well. Like, I don't know about other people, but I'm very used to playing in bands and not that used to performing on my own. And suddenly to have to perform on your own and to do a concert on your own from your home is a massive challenge. And it's less scary now, so we can do it again. So thank you for that, Ilana. I don't know who I'm introducing.
You're introducing Alicia.
Oh, Alicia, what an honour.
Hi.
I think she needs no introduction.
Am
Alicia
I?
tells everyone.
Hello? I can't. Oh,
The woman who needs no introduction, Alicia Spiegels.
hello, everybody. Am I on? I can't. I have the wrong view on. Thanks. Ilana, thank you so much for putting this together. It's such a planet-wide vision and so inclusive, and you created, you know, a global shtetl for fiddle players, but a broad-minded one, not, you know, not a small-minded shtetl. So it's been great to listen to everybody, and well, Olga, that was beautiful. What a cool tune. I'm gonna play a Tish-Nigunim from Mark Slobin's original Beregovski collection. And I also want to say that a lot of the 4 tunes you sent me, they were such a gift. I mean, you know, it's so hard when you're busy to add to your repertoire, and I feel like that expanded it, you know, beyond my dreams for a period of time where it's hard to like focus because things are so freaky. So it was a wonderful opportunity, and really, you know, listening to people talk, it's been such a growth opportunity for so many people, and for me anyway, I can say for sure. So thanks again to everybody. So this is Tish-Nigunim, number 122, for those who are counting. I believe it's my great pleasure now to introduce Deborah Strauss, who I've known for decades and who I wish I could spend more time with. And we actually led parallel lives before coming to Klezmer without realizing, going to the same small chamber music camp in so we have some kind of soul cluster connection from way back, and our attachment and friendship move forward with more in-person post-corona hanging out in the future.
Amen. Amen. Oh my God. Well, Ilana, Alicia, all of you, in this time of so much loneliness and fear and anger, this has been such a bit of nourishment for me, I think for all of us. I really needed this. I feel inspired, I feel reminded, I feel connected, and just blessings on all of you, because it's really been incredible. It's incredible, and it should only go from strength to strength. The Nigunim that Ilana gave me are in my head day and night, and they've been saving graces to me. And since our violins are our voices and our voices are our violins, I'm going to sing one of the Nigunim, the one that sticks in my head the most. Just sit quietly here. I'm sitting on my bed, looking out the window, looking into my iPhone, looking at all of you, and I just want to sing this Tish-Nigunim for you. Hi da da, hi da da da, hi da 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 da, hi 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 hi, hi 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 hi, hi 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 hi. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ba, ba, bye, bye. Ay, ay, da, 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 da. Ay, ay, ba, ba, bye, bye. Bye, bye, ba, ba, bye, 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 bye. Ay, ay, ba, da, da, da. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 da, 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 da. Ay. Ay, 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 da, 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 ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 da, 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 da. Ay, da, 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 da. Ay, ay, da, 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 da. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, da, 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 da. Ay, da, da. Ay, da, da, da. Ay, da, 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 da. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Schönen herzlichen Dank, everyone. And I'm so pleased to be introducing Eleanor Brzezinski. I'm bookmarked by two of my favorite people, and so many of you who I know a little, who I know a lot, who I feel such a connection to. And I feel such a connection to Eleanor, who is a scholar, who is an instrumentalist, who is a singer, and who is an incredible, incredible mensch. And I just love her so much. Eleanor Brzezinski.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Debra, for your singing and for your your words and for a lot of more things actually, for having shared so much over the years of friendship and of musicianship, and I have so much to say of how much I'm appreciative of that. Thank you, Ilana, also for bringing all of us together. And it's been said, but I can only say it again. And this is thank you, Michael, also for the wonderful Nigen that you also sang. And I don't know, it's very hard to find something relevant to say right now, because in New York, in the US, in a lot of cities in the US, we went from a lockdown to a curfew. So we are in a state of mind that is probably different, and it's hard. It's actually hard, but and it's hard to not know quite what we can say, I can say in those times, and yes, listen and try to act what we can actually do to improve a situation that's been so deeply wrong for so long, and that we are trying to get out of. I mean, yes, I will say we. So yeah, I'm gonna play. I was trying to think, and I was thinking that, considering the way I'm feeling now, I didn't really want to play one of the beautiful Nigen that you sent me, because they're all joyous, and I've been very happy to record them, and I'm very happy to share them. But now, I think I want to actually play something that I learned from Abigail and Deborah, Dobranoc from Beregovski. It's number 4, and I think feeling like being part of a chain is, I think, one of the most meaningful feeling I generally have, and right now it's very helpful to feel that. Thank you. This is a Dobranoc, and I'm actually looking for the Dobry Den coming after the darkness of our times. But yeah, thank you. And so I will introduce my dear friend Jake Shulman-Ment, who also has we've had many years of playing together and friendship, and it's so precious to have this. I also learned lots of tunes from Jake, so not enough actually. So Jake Shulman-Ment, who is in Brooklyn, and I hope I can ride my bike to you soon. And yeah, take it away.
Everyone. So it's really great to see you all. A bit of solace to be around you. I don't really know what to say, but I'm feeling like the world really is coming apart, and it seems here in New York, and it's heartbreaking to hear right now for many reasons. But that makes me think of something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about in my life anyway, but especially now, looking at climate change and the injustice of how this coronavirus situation is being handled all over the place, but especially here, and the thousands of people we're all going out on the street, just trying to be heard by people about injustices that are happening, and being met with real violence and aggression, verbal, physical, emotional. So thinking about just what does my fiddling do to this, right? Do for this world? What does our fiddling do for this world, actually? It's beautiful and it's expressive and it's wonderful and it's dear to our hearts, and that's all great. But I feel like I need more, and they're just beauty. And I'm thinking about something that a violin teacher of mine, Larry Johnston, once told me that really kind of caught me up by surprise in its power, which is that you can express all kinds of emotions musically. You can express joy, happiness, sadness, aggression, anger, all kinds of things, but one thing that you really can't play musically is contempt. For those of you who don't understand the word contempt, it means something like anger, but in the sense of wishing someone else bad things. And I've been thinking about that ever since you said that yeah, if I were to really play, I could play aggressively, but can I really play contemptfully? And I can't manage to figure out how to do that. So maybe there's something that we can give the world musically in terms of how to come to the world from a place of love. So this is a melody that I wrote, actually thinking about love. Thanks. So now I love that I get to introduce the next beautiful player, because she's a dear friend, and also just because it's so cool that her violin was the first violin that I ever touched when I was 2 years old. And we also figured this out when we next saw each other when I was, I think, 14 years old or maybe 15 years old, and we were playing in a big fiddle capella that was organized by Alicia. So someone muted me, but I didn't get to say. This is Lisa.
Lisa, say something.
Oh, well, Jake got muted, so I didn't know if he was finished. So I didn't hear the end of what you said, but
You said Lisa Gutkin.
oh, okay, there you go. I know who that is. Wow, well, yeah, Jake and I have had quite the bond over the years, and getting to see him as a 2-year-old. And mind you, I just have to continue that story ever so slightly because he was fascinated by the fiddle. And so we went into this little tiny room in a friend's house, and I never saw a kid so engaged for like an hour. So, it was no surprise that coming back 12 years later, he'd be where he's at and where he's at now. So thank you, Jake. Yeah, wow, what a time. And with all this going on, it is hard to know how to put yourself out there and how to be really genuine about joy and allow ourselves joy, and at the same time be really respectful about what's going on and hopeful that there will be some change. And so the piece I decided to play is one that I wrote a really long time ago, and the reason I want to play it is because I feel like at the time and always for me, that for me, if I allow myself to go really deep into every side of emotion, that I'm better off. I'm better off not hiding it if I'm very upset. If I'm very upset, I'm very upset. And if I'm joyful, I'm joyful. And this piece kind of somehow bridges both of that. It feels both to me. It's a tune that I called the Parnu piano for a long time because I wrote it in Parnu. And then it became My Mother's Mirror that Lauren sings in the Klezmatics. Thank you. Thank you. So, before I introduce my next wonderful friend fiddler, I just want to say that Jordan Hirsch is joining me tonight on a Wednesday night concert that I was doing every Wednesday, but I've sort of slipped to every few Wednesdays at this point. So he's coming tonight, and anybody who wants to come on and play a tune tonight would be more than welcome. It would be a total joy to extend this yet one more set of hours. Yeah, this has been a really, really wonderful period for me. I actually was sick for about a month. I had the dreadful virus, and the whole time I was like, but the Beregovski project is coming up. The Beregovski project. I gotta get up. I got up, and I'm telling you, it helped me get up and get going. And before I started playing, I just started like looking at the tunes and thinking about them. And so thank you again, Ilana, and everybody for this beautiful, beautiful project that's kept us all going in these months. So it is an unbelievable pleasure to be sandwiched in between the wonderful Jake and Steve Green. I had the great pleasure of playing with Steve. We did some duets with the Klezmatics, and we recorded together, and hearing his sound in such a luxurious tone that he has, and beautiful, beautiful ornamentation, was very moving to me in the beginning. It still is. Some of his early albums were the Stempen You album was really very important to me. And Steve also has done something that I have only dreamt of, and I'm so pleased for him that he has gotten to write a concerto for solo violin for Klezmer and orchestra, and I think that's incredibly amazing. And I think I'll keep talking until we see his face, because there he is. So it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce Steve Green.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. That was very, very kind of you. I'm in my kitchen right now in Orange Village, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. I want to thank Ilana for this fabulous, delightful, wonderful project, the chance to hear everybody perform and play in their own way, their own style, from their own self, from their own hearts, all these Nigunim, and much more. I'd like to play one of the tunes that was picked for me. This is called Tish-Nigunim number 34. And this one kind of touched me the most of all the tunes that I was given. I mean, I loved all of them, and they were all very different. This one sounds a bit, at the beginning, like the Klezmer tune, Nachts von Kinder, but then it goes off from that as well. And I tend to love these longer, extended Nigunim that go different places. And when you play these tunes, in addition to really trying to make them as vocal as we can on our instruments, on our violins, we need to tell a story too. So I hope I can tell a good story here. Tish-Nigunim number 34. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tish-Nigunim number 34. I remember playing this one night, practicing it when I was thinking about all the things going on, COVID-19 and just all the mishigas going around in our country and around the world and everything. Oh, I got some kids here. They come to say hi. There's Gabriel. The kids make it good, and also playing a good niggin always makes everyone feel good as well. I'm gonna have to go. Get some diapers to change, kids put to bed. So love to everybody. I would like to introduce the wonderful and the fabulous and the woman I have not yet met, who I'd love to meet, but I know she plays wonderfully, Beth Silver.
Thank you so much, Steve. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, I guess, to you. Can everyone hear me? I'm sitting kind of far from the computer. Sorry, could I see like one thumbs up? Okay, good. So yeah, it's already been really eloquently worded, what I think a lot of us feel right now in terms of sort of not being able to express in words what this time means to us or what's been going on. And it made me think of this thought that I had the other day, that words kind of limit me, or language I feel like limits me in terms of how I communicate. No matter what words I feel like I have available to me or what vocabulary I have access to, I don't feel like I can put my thoughts or my feelings into words. And this has come up more during this like month even than any other month. And sometimes it's hard to express something, and sometimes maybe just silence is, it's not that I have nothing to say, it's just that I don't, when I hear something or when something's told to me, I tend to like agree with aspects of it or disagree with things, but everything's really nuanced, and it's so hard to encapsulate that with words. Just some thoughts. Anyway, I was gonna play this short nigun that Ilana had given to me after my Zoom day, so I didn't actually like record my other ones. But this one I thought was a really special one. It's really pretty to me, maybe in my sort of classical way, because it's a little bit of a Sicilian kind of style. It's Nigun 89. I'm gonna play it sort of a shorter, condensed form. I'm not gonna play the entire form or repeat everything, just so it's a little bit shorter. Oh, can I just do a little sound check? Too loud? Too quiet? Anyone? Oh, I can't see anyone. That's the problem. I only see names. That's great. But I'm gonna go on. That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna play it with play Nigun 89 with the wonderful instrument accompanying me, the Klezmer looper. So I'm gonna get all my stuff together. Ilana, again, thank you so much for all the work that you've done. You're getting a little tour of my parents' living room as I walk back. But thank you, Ilana, for all of the hard work that you put into this. It's been such a pleasure and such an honor and crazy to meet all of these musicians this way. And I hope I get to meet you all in person. It's been so lovely to hear from you and to hear you play. And on that note, I'm stoked because I heard Alex Kaufman's YouTube video, and it was so beautiful and so moving and really special. Thank you so much. And I'm going to introduce you now from Chicago, I believe.
Yes, hello. Okay, I guess I'm on mute. Okay, good. Hello, everyone. I'm just joining on the choir of, kudos and thanks, and this is really something else. And thank you for introduction. Beautiful playing, everyone. It's just a new community, just like all together, never been done. This is great. I'm going to play something that is dear to me. It's a Wolof. And I believe it's by Zusman collection. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I just love this melody. It just kind of speaks to me. Oh, and then I'll finish with one of the Niguns, which is number 41, which is kind of like uplifting one. Sorry, I just missed something. All right, guys, I actually have a very optimistic message. I think that after all this is over, we're going to be very essential. What are people living for? They're living for music and for having fun with it, with their friends and all of that. I'm going to introduce the next player. Thank you again. And the next player is Zoya Kua. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And I've heard, I don't know if Zoe's coming up with a sister. Is her sister? Yes, hi Zoe.
Yep. This is
Yeah,
Annie.
yes, this is, you guys, you're for a treat. It's a wonderful, wonderful
you.
dance. So thank you very much. You take it over.
Thank you so much, Alex. Yeah, so I'm here in Denver with my sister, Annie Aqua, and I am heading back to my adopted home of New York soon, but it's been really nice to be able to play with Annie while I'm here and just draft her for all kinds of projects. So we'll keep it pretty short, just since we're close to the end. We are going to play number 36, Tish-Nigunim, and this was one that I think immediately after the concert, like at least 2 people contacted me and were like, can you please share you know, the sheet music for that niggin? That I really want to learn that. And I think it's stuck with me because it's like a little bit hopeful, and I think that's helped me to hear that right now. Thank you. Thank you so much to Ilana for putting this together. I think you asked a little bit about further goals. One of my goals is to go through and watch all the archived concerts because I wasn't able to catch that many, and I really, really am excited to just hear klezmer fiddlers from all around the world. So thank you so much, Ilana.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, and I'm going to introduce Sandra Lehman. Sandra, I don't think we've got a chance to play together. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I really hope that we do sometime in the future. So
that would be wonderful. I love both of your playing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm assuming yes. Okay. First of all, thank you so much to Zoe and especially to Ilana for this amazing, amazing project. She has helped to bring this dinosaur up out of her fossil bed. And I'm just amazed. I feel like Rip Van Winkle. We have a story of a man who went to sleep for 20 years when America was still a colony of Britain and woke up after the revolution. All this stuff had happened. And anyway, I feel like him only twice as much because it's been many, many years since I've been able to really play this music due to health and other circumstances. Okay, enough of that. I would like to play number 71 of the Nigunim that we've been working on. And this is a Freilachs. I'm going to start it a little bit on the slow side, maybe warm up a little bit. Thank you. And I believe, is Cookie here? Hoping that Cookie is here. And if so, she is a wonderful friend, and I'm really looking forward to hearing her playing.
She's not
as
here.
always.
Unfortunately, she sent
Not here?
She's not.
Cookie's
She
not
sent
here.
her love. She had to go.
Oh, okay. Well, then, am I introducing Yale?
I think you are.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So I get a chance to introduce Yale. Now, Yale and I have had a couple of close calls. When I was in Romania in the late 80s, at one point he left a message with somebody at the American embassy that he wanted to get in touch, but by the time I got that message, he was gone already from Bucharest. So anyway, Yale, and then I think once you were in Seattle and I saw you from a distance but didn't get a chance to meet. Okay, so Yale, I'm looking forward to hearing you playing. Yale Strom, are you there?
He's there, but not there.
There, but not there.
Oh, well, let's come back to Yale. I think we should go to... Oh, hang on. No.
Whoops.
Maybe we should just move straight to Australia, where they've finally woken up. Ernie.
Oh, okay. Who is it, Ernie?
I think it might be Ernie. Ernie, are you there?
I am here.
Ernie.
Hello.
I haven't met you, but I'm looking forward to hearing you playing way over there across the pond.
That's right. I've got your CD from many years ago, Sandra. Great CD. Thank you. Hi.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning. My name's Ernie Gruner from Melbourne, Australia. And we're used to being isolated in a way, although it's a lot more now. And big thanks to Ilana Cravitz, of course, right from the start, to say thank you very much for organising all this. So she's asked to play a tune that's been important, and look, all the tunes that I've been allocated are important, and a lot of the ones that I've heard listening to other people's sessions have been important. I feel like something jolly. I've been up for a few hours now, since about 5 in the morning. So I think I need to play something fast. And this particular tune's been important to me because it inspired me to do some fiddle singing, which I won't do because I've just had muesli. And it's also inspired me to think of introducing it into our klezmer dance as a tune for klezmer dancers that I run with Audrey Fine and Ilana's run klezmer dancers here, and Deb Strauss and Michael Alpert years ago also. Anyway, I guess I should talk about the other questions as well. So yeah, it's just been great to learn some new tunes. Thank you very much, Ilana. It's been great to reconnect with musicians I met years and years ago at Klez camps and other places. And it's particularly encouraged me to think about having more online lessons. I had one with Alicia Svigos, who I learnt from in 1998 and 2008. So is that lessons every 10 years or something? That's crazy. Anyway, so I've been teaching online for a few months thanks to Corona, but I hadn't actually had a lesson, and it was great. Thank you very much, Alicia. And last question from Ilana was, where could we go next? I think someone else said, well, maybe there's other batches of Beregovski tunes that we could all work on or fiddle on, or some other connections, but fantastic stuff. Here's the tune. I think of this as, in Australia, we have things called bush dances, which are like a combination of Irish, Scottish, and European tunes with dances. I'm almost tempted to try and get this into not just the klezmer dance repertoire, but Australian bush dance repertoire. So this is 132. I'll do a short version of it, but on the video I'll sing with it as well. And yes, like bar dance as well, Roger. And I'd like to hand over to Vanessa. Are you there, Vanessa? Also in Australia. Vanessa played in this living room at a house concert many years ago. Fabulous little player.
Hello. Hi, Ernie. Thanks for that.
Hi. Over to you.
So, thank you, Ilana, so much. This has just been an absolute treat and a delight. So, yeah, I'm on the far south coast of New South Wales in Australia. I moved here in December last year, and it's just been a crazy year, as it has for everyone. Once I arrived here, we had the bushfires. Now it's the virus and lockdown, and I just want to share with you what's been important for me. So, like Amit said, I haven't really been playing much, but these Nigunim that Ilana sent me were just absolutely wonderful. So they traveled with me everywhere I went. And like Ariane said, connection has been so important for me. So connection to people, family, friends from all over. This global string, boat string lockdown project, to connect with all of you, to hear all of your shows. It's It's been absolutely wonderful. So my old teachers, colleagues, friends, and a lot of new faces, a lot of wonderful talent out there, and that I have yet to meet face to face, but it's been wonderful to hear your music. And so I'm not going to play today, but I would like to share with you a poem, my favorite poem by Maya Angelou. And this has helped me in so many tough moments in my life. It's been very uplifting, and I think is very appropriate for this time right now. So I'd like to share that with you. I think, Ilana, do you have the link?
Yes, I've lined it up. I just have to work out how to, sorry, bear with me for a second. I'm just going to play it.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll arise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow. There I go.
Sorry, I wasn't.
It's just wonderfully inspiring. So I hope you enjoyed that poem. Thank you. So I'm handing it back to you, Ilana, I think, because is Yale here?
He is, but I don't know if he wants to play. I can't get through to him. Yale, calling you for the last time at the end of the hour.
Yeah, I'd like to play.
Oh, great.
Okay. So, first of all, Ilana, thank you for all the this ingenuity, your artistic endeavors, and I know the long hours you put in to put such a thing together, and also introducing us to new music, as many people have said before me. Some of these Nigunim just really stick to you almost as an earwig, and one of them in particular now is in my head when I run in the mornings. So anyway, thank you for that. Heinrich Heine said, where words leave off, music begins. And we're seeing that here, not only through all of us who've been playing these beautiful tunes, but throughout the world. And I'm going to speak specifically now here in the United States, here in my very city, where there are peaceful protests happening in San Diego. And many people are singing. And why? Because it's not enough just to say the names, to say a slogan, but music is even stronger. It cuts to the heart. There's something about that. And so the power of music in these difficult times, of course, with COVID-19, obviously, and the institutionalized racism here in the United States, which has been a plague much longer than COVID-19. It's been a plague here since 1619. And we don't have a vaccine that's in the works to end it. I hope so in my lifetime, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. So I will play a niggin with niggin. This one is one that I learned at home from my tata, from my father. Meshka might recognize this because this is a Stoliner niggin. That's my yichus on my father's side. And I thought I'd play this one because it's about stalling for time. And I think that's what we are. We're all stalling for time, for better things to come, for peace, etc., etc. And this was a niggin that was played at the end of Yom Kippur when the Rov decided it wasn't time yet to end the fast, to blow the shofar, to blow the shofar. So they would stall and sing this tune, and it's still sung today in Yerushalayim by the Stoliner Hasidim. So I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. Particularly, I hope you enjoyed that, Ilana.
I did indeed. Thanks.
And ideas for next projects. If anyone knows a little bit about me, I always have ideas for projects. But you know, I'm just thinking about. I think perhaps doing some kind of fiddle consortium while we're still in lockdown, concerts of sorts, where we're all playing together, etc., for a wide audience. And I'll think it, and of course I won't be a stranger. I'll write to you as well as everybody, and I wish everybody health first, also happiness, some parnosa, if not a bit more than some, and look forward to meeting many of you who I've never got to meet except through the internet. And it's been a real pleasure to hear all of you playing and wonderful interpretations of the music. And you know, you should correct to everybody. And thank you again, Ilana.
Thanks, Yael. Well, thanks everybody, in fact. It's been wonderful. Thanks so much to Fiona Frank. An extra round of applause for Fiona, who runs the Scottish Jewish consortium, as it were, and puts on concerts up there. And she's been helping us with the tech on this today. Fiona, can you spotlight yourself for a second, love? Anyway, she's been wonderful to help us out. And I just wanted to say a big thank you again to everybody for your time and your energy and your love. And it's been really important for me. And I'm glad that everybody's had fun. And I do hope we move forward. I would like somebody to kind of archive the archive somewhere, hopefully. Maybe produce some an English version of the tune book so that people can access it. More people have, you know, asked about the melodies. And yeah, let's all get together here, there and everywhere. We'll have to travel overland by bicycle perhaps, but maybe that's the way forward. And I want more opportunities to wear my sparkles in public. So not just on Zoom. I want to get out there and get on stage and get into people's homes and be there with all of you. So I can't think of anything else to say except for peace, love, protest, noise, a better world, and when the lockdown ends, we'll all be out there making the music and bringing it to the people. I know we will. Thanks everybody, and lots of love, and see you on the next project.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ilana.
Yeah.
Quick, Ilana.
Ilana.
Schönen Dank.
And Fiona,
Lovely job,
everyone.
Ilana.
Good morning, Ilana.
Thank you, thank you.
Chaim.
What a great Sendungstark. Sei gesehen.